Hello, everybody, and welcome to A Model and Movie, episode 13. No Hard Feelings is the movie we'll be talking about. Brian Clark, my co-host, how are you, sir?
Fantastic, man. How
You
are
nice
you?
and warm today?
No, it's freezing. It's 8 degrees, and
It
it's
is.
I mean, just so people know, it's the day before MLK Day, so we get an extra day off tomorrow. But well, you do. I have practice. I have basketball practice, but it's cold, man. It's cold here.
Yeah, I woke up, it was -5 here this morning, and it's supposed to get lower tonight, and then wind chill's like -30, between -10 and -30 right now.
That's where we're headed, like, because
Yeah.
like I said, we're about a day behind you with the jet stream. So unfortunately, we're already off tomorrow, so it won't matter. We're not
Yeah.
going to get off. So
They were talking like Tuesday we might have off, but if they do, I'll be pretty angry because
and you were off Friday, right?
yeah, we were off Friday, and it ended up we didn't get anything near like we were supposed to. So, like the morning would have sucked, but then the rest of the day, just it turned into rain and slush and
Like
garbage.
do you have a lot of kids who ride buses?
Yeah, most of our kids are on bus.
Yeah, see ours
Yeah.
too, and that's usually why we end up canceling if it's really cold, is because of the kids waiting at the bus
Yeah,
stops. So,
and I get that. Like,
yeah,
one of my saddest. I don't even know how much of this story I can tell. When I was elementary, one of the saddest thing that ever happened. It was one of these days where it was like -30, and some mother sent her kindergartner to walk to school alone with no gloves, no hat, walked
dude.
in the door, literally crying with snot frozen to her face. And I was the first one to find her. And I'm just like, so I get it. Like on those cold days, I like stay
Yeah.
home. Like just keep your kids home if school's still open, and you don't do that to your kids. But anyway, how are you otherwise? What's
Well,
going
good,
on?
man. Yeah, just basketball team. We're 6-5. We had a tough loss on Friday. We
Oh no.
lost by one. It was we were down 12 at half and just fought. It was a great game. It was a fun game to coach. It was a great game.
Yeah.
And 6-5, that's our first loss in the conference. So we're second place in the conference. Not bad. Loving it. Great kids. I'm having a good time this year. But Missy's good. Adrian's back in college.
Post holiday, just ugh,
Yeah. Yeah, just I'm with it being cold, I'm able to get some modeling done, which I'll show later, of course, and
yeah.
just kind of breathing on the weekends. Haven't been on Discord for a couple weeks because of various things.
Yeah. Stuff
Just,
comes up, life. It's just
dude,
I
yeah,
start like someone was Bill was mad that I wasn't like people weren't there. I'm like, dude, we all like if you're on Discord, great. If we're not, great. People have
right.
lives. It's not like a job that you have to be to. And I'll put the Discord link for anyone who wants to join our modeling Saturday nights. If we're there, great. Like if you can make it, great. Can't, not a big deal either. I couldn't, and I've explained this to Scott. People don't understand. So Wednesday, I helped set up Joe with the camera. Thursday night, I recorded with Joe and Scott. Friday night, I edited all night. Saturday morning, posted the video. Saturday night would have been Discord. I just needed a break from this room. I just needed to get out of here.
I get it.
And it makes I just needed to just be away from here for a minute because I knew I'd be recording again right now and editing this evening so we can get this out. But so Bill, it's okay. Sometimes people have stuff to do.
And we're a week behind. We
are way behind. Yes, we are a week behind.
But again, that's because we had the live show, which was great and fun. I had
thoughts on the live show. What'd you like? I thought it went really well.
I did too, considering you're especially because you're the one doing all the organizing and all that as far as like the electronics. I have no skills in that area at all. I hit, you send me the link, I click on it, and here I am. And but no, it was fun. It was fun talking to Mark and everybody. And
yeah,
I got on the list for Mark Worthling's Rides Monster, I think it was, he called it the yeah. So I talked to him. So it was just a good time, man. It was fun. I had a good time. The next
I'm
day
liking the live better than this. I almost kind of want to switch over either this to live or one of the other episodes. Or just do an extra live episode. I like the interaction we had with people, like being able to chat real time with people. I really liked it. We got some emails to that too. So I want to figure out a way to do it live because it makes things easier for me too. If I don't have to edit and we just put it out there. But
The problem is
It's just
scheduling wise.
it's just
It's
more
like, and even
scheduling and more time.
yesterday, because you're like, hey, how about 2 or 1? I think you said my time. I was like,
Yeah.
I can't at this. I had a bunch of stuff going on before we even got here today. So it was
Yeah,
like,
and I'm glad we didn't do that time because I wouldn't have made it either. So
were you sleeping in? Of
I slept. No, I slept on the couch. I've been sleeping on
course
the
you did.
couch. I was washing sheets, and then I was just like, forget it. I'll just sleep down here. So I usually fall asleep watching TV on the weekends and just stay down here. But uh, what you
So how
working
about you,
on
dude? How
model
you doing?
wise? Oh, sorry. What'd you say?
Oh, yeah. What are you up to? Or how are you doing? All that
I'm
good
doing.
stuff.
I don't know. I'm swamped with print work, which is kind of gets to this again. I really have nothing to show again because every minute is prints for other people, and it's eating my time. So once this batch is done, I need a break, and I'm just going to do some painting. I'm still working on my Santa ornament. I don't know if I'm not very much farther. I showed it. It's a self-portrait Santa. It's what it is. But the one thing I did want to mention for this is I started using those AK deep shades on it. And I mentioned this on the other show
Yeah.
yesterday. They work differently than I'm used to. They're a lot thicker. I don't even know how to explain the viscosity of it. It's almost like Floetrol mixed with color, and it doesn't work how a wash normally would. So it kind of stays on top more than going just into the recesses. So you almost have like, if you don't want it somewhere, you kind of need to wipe it off as you're going, which I'm not used to. So it's just a matter of getting used to how they work and the best way to use them in the right situation. So like I used a darker gray on the beard over like an ivory, and it just stayed too much on the top instead of just flowing where I wanted it to. And I don't know. It kind of works. I'll figure that out. And I'm still working on my bad Santa, which I got going. And I'm trying to figure out the pose I want to do, but it's all primed, ready to go. But other than that, it's been print work. I'm doing Ovaltine cans for the Worthlings. I'm doing stuff.
One of those will be mine.
Which you'll probably get one of the 120 I've done so far. Those will go out tomorrow. And then I have just a couple other things for people that are in the works. And I just finished something for Paul, and I finished. It's boring. No one wants to know. I've been really busy. So as far as a model for a model in movie, I got nothing. And it bugs the crap out of me.
I have 1, 2, 3 that I'm working on, and a good chunk that I have finished.
Well, let's see what you got.
We'll balance it out. What do we want to go with? Let's
anything
finish first.
You pick.
All right, let's do the finished stuff first. So, this is with the Superman. You sent me the Creature from the Black Lagoon and that, I don't know what that other thing is, but painted those up, man. Here we go. Here's my creature. Look at that.
Oh, what a cute. It's eyes. I love it.
I don't know. I want it to be different.
Yeah, it is different. I like that. I like those eyes like that. That's cool.
Yeah. And it took, I screwed them up a few times. I had to wipe it off and redo the yellow and all
so that base on there is weird. Does it stand up when you put it down? Like sometimes I get it to stand up.
Here,
sometimes.
Let's see this. Yeah. There you go.
Okay, it does. Good. When I saw that, I was like, oh, they needed like a pedestal or something for it.
Yeah, but once I take razor blades and scrape the bottoms of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that smooth. No problem. Cool. It stood right up. So, because that's where the supports were, the lumps or whatever you call them, the bump. Yeah. So I got that guy done. Let me put him over here. Well, let's do this guy. This dude, the other thing that you did.
Yeah, it's supposed to be Nagash. It's like their version of Nagash, which is a Warhammer bad guy. Who's got like bone. He's like a necromancer, bone armor. But I like the purpley blue you got going on in there.
Yeah, it was just, I was like, you know what? Even though it was bone, I was teaching King Arthur.
Yeah.
Excuse me. When I started this, and I show the kids sections of Excalibur. When we do it, obviously not all of it, but because I don't want to lose my job. I got 11 years left, but too much time. So, all the armor in that is really shiny.
They got great armor. Yep.
Yeah, that's such a good movie, dude.
It is.
But so I was like, I wanted to do something just like that, where it was a little super shiny but different, and don't know,
Yeah.
it came out really
It's
nice,
a great
I
little
thought.
test piece just to mess around with. I like stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, and it came out really well, I thought. So, again, I'm gonna take that one to school and put it on my shelf at
And
school.
that's what I do. Sometimes when I'm printing stuff, I'll print 2 on a plate. Like I just printed one of Johansson's Kongs, like this big, like tiny, just because I
Nice.
wanted to see how like I got it pretty small. It's about this tall, and I
Mhm.
just did 2 of them. And because if I have room, I'll just do 2 in case, and then I'll probably paint it like brown and then one black and white. Just have both. But
And my plan is to buy a couple from him at Wonderfest.
cool.
So
Yeah.
now, did you just get did the
Yeah,
bus or
just
did
the bust. Because I just wanted to see. I was just guinea pigging for him to see if the teeth come out that small and stuff. So because the dental plates are separate, so that they're smaller than my pinky nail. Like they're tiny.
Wow. Yeah. So
But,
let's see. How about Jamie Sy minifigure Jason Voorhees? How about that guy?
nice.
Yeah. A little fun. Again, I do these to
Those
be
are
more
great.
and I like doing them to be more like if they were Scooby-Doo. Like, so they're super colorful
Yeah.
and like
And that's what I think because they're not meant to look realistic. There's a cartoon look to those. So yeah.
I did that one. I did the crow. I think I showed the crow on.
Yeah, you were working on it, I think.
Yeah, so I got him done. And yeah, that was. These are
Those are great.
honestly they're so fun. Oh wait, I got more of these done. Red Skull.
Ah.
Nosferatu.
He reminds. Oh, what's the episode where the Seinfeld episode where George turns blue or pink? When he turns purple from the
Yeah. Oh, from the self healing guy.
yeah. Looks
And then finally, Angelo Valletta's Kong that I bought.
Hey, that turned out great. I love that base.
Dude, isn't it cool?
I like the green on the that jungly overgrowth.
That's okay. So the vein. This is contrast color. I just had it here too, but I had to move everything on my desk. Like slime green? No, cool green. Plague bearer flesh.
Yeah. Okay.
Contrast plague bearer flesh.
Yep.
That's the vines, and it's the dirty down moss.
That's
Dude.
people. Dirty Down. If you need Dirty Down, head on over to their website. I'll put a link down. Promo code MCTV. Yeah, that looks great.
It comes out the moss stuff, and again, if you use it, you can't seal it because it does change it. But it's the last thing you do. You put it on to how you want it to look, and yeah, it adds so much. I took it to a IPMS, my local IPMS meeting.
Yeah,
they were all talking about the moss.
Well, give them our promo code MCTV on goblinshut.com. Get some.
I think I paid for it. Screw them.
It helps us.
Oh, all right. Well,
it helps us. We get $1. I think
so. And then the working on a couple things that I got put a base coat on this thing. This might look familiar to you.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, got the base gray done. You can kind of see what it looked like. Again, how I scrape it so it's smooth. You can see it there a little bit. And I just use a razor blade and it pops them off and it's fine. So I got that. Base coat on his face.
What paint did you use?
Honestly, the best I've got Tamiya or Tamiya, whatever. I don't like it. I think it's too yellowy.
It does. It looks very yellow.
Then I was using this on another one, which I'll show you.
Okay.
Model color, which I don't think was right for Superman. I just used cheap Wicked Colors craft paint. And I think it's by far the best base. And if you wet your brush a little bit and put on thin coats, it's really silky smooth. You can, I mean, look how smooth it is.
Yeah. It is a nice base flesh.
Yeah, it's really nice.
And that's just your tip. You just get that at Michael's Craft Color?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, I think that's where I'm headed now as far as like for my base paint for, I mean, it's just silky. Because here's one of the other things I'm working on is the Mulder and Scully you gave me 2 years ago, I think at Wonderfest or a year
okay
ago.
Yeah.
And here's him. Came out pretty good.
Yeah.
but she's pale. She's really pale. She's a redhead, so she's really
Yeah, it's
pale.
gonna be a little pale.
And so I use that light flesh, the model color, and it's kind of chunky. I don't know.
Yeah.
You
See, that
kind of,
Vallejo does come out sticky
yeah,
sometimes
there
like
it
that.
is. Look at that at that angle. You
Yeah.
can see it. And so I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's no way
Some
to really.
guys kick
Oh,
butt with that stuff. I always find Vallejo. It
I
depends
struggle.
again on what I'm doing, and sometimes I feel like it's not right. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't fit for what I like to do. So I get it. And some people do amazing things with it.
And
Like
the other one is the I should you. This is another good one
yes.
for.
Yep.
This is phenomenal. So I don't know. I haven't gone wrong with any of the proacral stuff ever. And so it's been good. So I got Mulder's suit pretty much done.
Yeah.
And I've got
It's nice to
her.
see other people painting things I've printed because that's good.
I just obviously I haven't
Yeah.
gotten yeah. I had to have a place to hold it when I was painting. I was kind of like this. So
That's where these
um
come in handy. Stick it on there.
yeah,
Just up a little hobby holder
I know.
from Game
Oh,
Envy. Actually, I'm gonna try and get those guys on the show still, and maybe we'll get some help with those.
another thing you printed. How about there it is? There's the chest piece. I started that. Came out really nice. Again, Proacryl red. Their red is the best red. It's thicker. It doesn't it's not as
The bold
transparent.
pyro red. Is
Oh,
that the one you used?
yep,
Okay.
yep, bold pyro red. That's because that comes in their base set, I believe.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, it came out really good.
It's a
Now
yeah.
the
Nice red.
now got a couple questions for you because you have been doing figures and
Oh, here we
things
go. Yes.
longer than me. No, not nothing big. So red hair. I have no clue how to do red hair.
Burnt sienna.
Okay.
Start with that. Something that's
Okay.
close to burnt sienna,
I
and
have
then like see that
okay. Yeah.
it's like that color, like it's a red brown. So don't go. I think burnt sienna is a great base because I think that's what I used when I did the Steve West's Bram Stoker Dracula, where he's got Lucy on the
Yeah. On
thing.
the
So I think I started with burnt sienna for that, and then I'll do like a darker brown kind of wash on top of that, and
okay.
then add red into that for your highlight. And this
Red
is where the
into
deep shades might come in handy. This from AK, this human skin wash is very
oh
close. Like I don't know how to show that, but
oh
that's
yeah.
very close to like that color. So that might even be a good wash on there. Like if you did like white and then did a wash of this and then left your stains. But I would start with something close to burnt sienna
Okay.
and then go with a
Because I've never
darker
done red
wash.
hair before. And I don't want to do it where it's like the Superman red. I mean,
Right,
obviously
right.
it's not right. So I would say that that's the hardest hair to color.
Burnt
Hey,
sienna or I have a really hard time with brown or not brown, blonde. I'm sorry. This color is actually pretty close too. It's oh crap. It's the color name is oxide red, I think. Red oxide is very
okay.
from Liquitex 2 is pretty dang good. Like
Okay. All right. I wrote
yeah,
some stuff
give
down.
those a try.
Now, one other question. Superman. The base is gray. His suit, everybody I've seen people painting it online. Everyone's doing his suit in gray. But the base is gray. Everything there's just a lot of gray in
That
that.
is a lot of gray. I
So
would do a let's see see if you did the same thing as me or what I would think.
well, what were you gonna do? What were you
I
gonna
was
I
going
had
to
a
do
couple
I would like like a black and white red tie.
well, he doesn't have the tie.
Oh, that's
Remember?
right. Well, like if I'm thinking like in my brain, it would be
Yeah. I was thinking that, but I went with something a little different. As a test, just to see what it would look. I painted the inside of the shirt, the jacket, because you can't
mm-hmm.
see it now, and I might just as a change. I went with called RLM gray, and it's got a little green to it.
Yeah. That could work too, because you're right. It is a lot of gray. What about like a navy blue suit?
Yeah, I thought about that was the other option I was
Yeah.
thinking about. Navy blue. The problem, believe it or not, if you have not a problem, but if you have the fine line
Oh, okay.
markers
For
for
those
the
lines, are you gonna
striking,
try and do the lines?
I'm gonna do them all. I've already told I'm gonna do them. So if I go navy blue, would that hide the black? And maybe it wouldn't,
You'd have
huh?
to do black lines. Yeah. Do it.
I
Do a
think,
little test spot on the back.
or in the inside here.
Yeah, and yeah.
Actually, the dark gray blue from Pro Acro might be
Yeah.
a good color. That would be a good color blue for this because I use this on something I can't remember
Yes,
what.
and then shade down, and then shade it with some. Add
Little
some
touch,
black to that.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that might actually work really well.
yeah. All right, yeah, because even the green, that's kind of an odd color for a suit, but I mean it's
Yeah.
different, you know. But the blue and black is classic, so but yeah,
Yeah.
I
See,
just that
mess around with that, but I see what you're saying. Gray, gray, gray. Yeah, it's not gonna.
and I checked marker number 2, perfect fit for the line.
It fits those lines. Hold that
Perfect.
up? What's the marker set? Uh, black
Bought it. It's
fine liner pen set. Okay.
I bought it's from
Because you could
yeah.
probably, I'm sure people might
Oh,
have some like panel line markers or Gundam markers laying around.
they're called pigment liners. Here you go.
Pigment line.
Pigment liners.
I think I still have
And
one Gundam marker laying around.
I bought them on Amazon, so they it wasn't too expensive. I think it was like $10 for all this, but I've had them for a year or so now.
Now you got a chance to use them.
Well, I've used them before. I like to
Okay.
use them like on the small, like really small kits to do like to line the eyes.
Yeah.
They work really well for that and whatever. So yeah, so those are the kits I'm working on.
All right.
I
You buy
still
anything? Get anything cool in the mail? Oh no.
This could be a long episode, dude. Remember a
Oh no.
couple was it this episode or I was like, oh, it's gotta slow down and blah, blah, blah. I've spent a ridiculous amount of money. I got some gifts for Christmas and I bought some stuff. And so here we go. First of all, the G-Force set.
Okay. Oh crap! It's all the.
Yeah, all the little
Oh
ones.
wow. Okay.
Phoenix. So I have the Phoenix over here
Yeah.
somewhere. And so I saw these and I was like, you know what? I saw horrible reviews on them.
So he said, "I gotta have them."
But, but everybody.
These are terrible. I need those.
Yeah, I'm not miserable enough. Let's see if I can bring myself to another level of misery. So I got that. My in-laws for Christmas hooked me up with the.
Oh shit! Nice.
Yeah, and it's the more updated one.
I've kind of always wanted to do one of those.
Yeah, they're fun, dude. And it's Bandai, so
Yeah, Battleship Yamato. That's really
they're printed in the colors. So
Captain
if you
Harlock.
wanted to do a quick build and just throw it on the shelf, you could, but
yeah,
you got to paint them.
Oh man, I'd like to see that when it's done.
This one we talked about during the live show. My Mandalorian there. It's got the skull or the heads on the spikes, which is really cool. And I'm debating, do I want to get George's version of his Starfighter or the Revell one? Because George has one coming.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He showed me it at mock up at Wonderfest, and it's really cool. It's cool.
Okay.
So I don't know.
And it's gonna be all resin parts. Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's 3D printed. Some 3D.
Can be out. Okay.
All right. Well, I showed the ghost already. So
wait, move it over a little more.
This was from the live show.
Yep.
From the Ghost of Christmas Yet to Come. But I have the other one. Oh, I told you, dude. I have stuff coming too.
I went nuts. While you're pulling some stuff out yesterday. Well, after we recorded, we talked about X Plus a little bit and the Marilyn Monroe that's coming out that they have. And I was like, let me go look and see what the price is. So I went to Big Bag Toy Store, and the other one was the Harryhausen Medusa vinyl kit that's coming out from Star Race X Plus. And so I started looking, and I didn't see it on Cult TV Man. So I think I pre-ordered 5 things on Big Bad Toy Store. And then I pre-ordered all of the X Plus stuff coming Universal Monster wise on Cult TV Man, plus about 3 other things. So I think I put up about 12 pre-orders yesterday or less.
I've had the Cult TV Man stuff pulled up. I just haven't hit send yet.
So after and then I'm like, wait a minute, what if those all come at the same time? I'll be completely screwed. So I'm hoping they're at least staggered like a month apart.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Christmas present.
And those are from, in case
John Dennett.
John Dennett. Let's do a link to John. Is that off of, how do you get to John Dennett stuff? Facebook?
Just Facebook. Yeah. I just Facebooked him. And Christmas past.
Cool.
So I talked to him right now. I think we were texting back and forth and emailing. I'm sorry. I think as of right now, this is kind of the end of the line.
Okay.
But he has plans. So there's the Tiny Tim, the Scrooge, the 3 Ghosts, Marley, and who am I missing? He has another one. There's 7 in the thing right now. Anyhow, so he has 7, but he said he's thinking about maybe down the line doing a couple more. But he said that he notices that usually after about 7, it starts dipping down in sales, and he's kind of where I was like, yeah,
I get it. Yeah,
the ones he's done are freaking awesome.
We've been Scott and I have been trying to get John on the main show for a very long time. So John, if you're watching, still want you to come on.
Yeah, it's good because you're doing good stuff. All right, did Scott talk about the Herman Munster yet?
A while ago, but you show it.
All right,
couple episodes ago. I think 2 episodes ago.
I'm way behind on watching you guys with basketball, but I got my Herman
from Pestilence. Or no, it's not Pestilence. That's Jaeger Army, right?
Army. Yeah.
That's a Jaeger Army piece. So head on over to Jaeger Army if you're interested.
Yep. And the base again. I know Scott did it on Model Club, so I don't want to. But the base is it's got some pieces on it that you want to be careful on the stairs here. These are really long. Yeah, so be very careful when you get it. But that's the base, and spot goes in there and all that. So
that's a nice chunk of resin.
It is. And finally, the one that I told you was coming, and it showed yesterday, my man. Number 8 of 10.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Of the prototype.
Yep.
The prototype. We got the Rainbow Connection.
Move it down a little bit. There you go. The Jim Henson kit. That is so freaking cool.
And the way
from Sci-Fi Models and stuff, we'll put a link up for them too.
And the way I ended up getting this was at Wonderfest, they had like just a sign up sheet for updates and news. And so I was thinking when I signed up for it that I was just going to get, hey, this is going to be coming out in whatever. And he sent me an email. I want to say his name's
Dan.
Dan. Dan sent me an email and he's like, hey, I've got some prototypes done. He goes, you signed up for it. If you want it, you can, get it now. And I was like, you know what? I will, and we'll talk about it on the show.
Excellent.
There is a lot of stuff in this. I would call it multimedia. I had to open it up right away because this is so cool. First, directions.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, there's
that's a funny little, just a floating head in the picture.
Yeah. There's some interesting things in here. So we've got the 3D printed hands.
You don't have to. I don't want you to like wreck anything.
Oh God. I put everything away when we're done.
Yeah.
So the hands are 3D printed, holding the control thing.
Yep.
And these are Kermit's hands.
Okay.
And then Jim, I'll
I
tell you what, Henson is awesome too.
I did talk to him. I'm in the next batch. I hope he's gonna let me know when they're up.
Yeah, but you're not a prototype.
No, I am not a prototype. You and Scott seem to get all the bonuses here.
I don't know if he's putting extra things. So the base, this was crazy, dude. I've never seen this. And maybe you have. You've been around garage kits more. The base is a chunk of wood.
Nice. That's and just stain it, make it look.
Yeah, and it comes with. Again, there's a lot of stuff in here, dude. Just
cool
brass to put them on. What's this?
I like that it's just wood.
Yeah, why not? I mean, and that's I was at Wonderfest this past year. I was talking to Terry, and I wanted his take on some of the things that I had built. I was like, Terry, take a look at this. He goes, I don't know, man. Whenever people ask for opinion, I was like, dude, I'm just asking what you think about my shit. I'm not, like it, don't like it. I don't care. I like it. That's why I put it here. I'm not that guy. And he's like, the one thing he said about my kits is I just tend to, if it comes like this is what I put on the table. He goes, some people, it was the ones that get attention tend to people put them on things more. And I'm like, that was his one criticism that he had of my stuff. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I wasn't offended by it or anything, but it's just not. All right, there you go.
Oh, that is really cool.
It's a good
what
size.
A great tribute piece. What a great
tribute. And there's like
don't take it. Yeah, don't worry about taking it all
no,
out.
I'm just going to show the base of his body, the main part of his body. And there's a cool thing I didn't notice at Wonderfest. I don't know if it was on that, but it's on this. There, bodies. Yeah. It doesn't sit. There's got to do some work to get it to fit. But again, these are prototype, so maybe it'll
come out better. Yeah.
But belt buckle. I didn't notice that.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah, Muppet Show belt buckle. That is really cool.
So just
what a great little detail. That's awesome.
It's just well done, man. I love this. I loved it. I didn't see it at first. You told me about it. I went over and looked at it, and immediately I was like, I want to know more. And I ended up with something that only 10 other people have. So, and then it comes with brass for the
control sticks. Cool.
Yeah.
Man, that is a sweet kit. That is a really sweet kit. Thanks for sharing it.
Yeah. Oh, of course. It was a surprise. And now I also have for the next one show. What is it? The next Tombstone one? What do they call it though?
Oh, we just showed it. I
Want Your Blood or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So that one's coming. I already paid for it. So much for I'm not going to buy anything else.
Well, one last thing. I want to talk about hobby dementia. I think it's a new term I'm coming up with, where you forget what you have and buy the same thing twice. So I was down. We always, for Christmas, we go down to Southern Illinois, and there's a little game shop down there. And I always like to buy something from the guy because it gives me a little discount because we come along far away, and then I want to support the local hobby store because there's, whatever. So I bought this, and the price tag's still on there, $150. So it's a set of orcs, Combat Patrol for orcs for Warhammer, because that's the army I always buy stuff for, one of them. And so then I got home like, man, this looks really familiar. I have two. Now I have two. $300 worth of orcs sitting in two little boxes. And I'm like, well, you could end up using all of them again, to pad it out for the game. But it's like, son of a bitch. So I'm going to start what Scott did and use his little spreadsheet and start loading it up and just have it in my phone. So I'm wondering if anyone else comments below, hobby dementia buys the same thing twice, because it's starting to happen more and more for me.
You ready? Yeah. Because I just did it. I just got another.
Okay.
Yeah. It's literally. A mock times or a muck times. I don't know.
A muck time. Yeah.
times. I'm on their email list or whatever.
Great site, by the way. So Amok Time,
fantastic.
great stuff. I always see him at every convention we go to, and he's always at Wonderfest. Yeah, he's always there.
Was he there this year? I don't remember.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think he was this past year.
But he was there a year ago, and definitely the year after. But anyhow, so he put out on his email. He's like, "Hey, 22-inch King Kong Skull Island poly resin kit."
Yeah,
20. I mean, this thing's it's huge. $99, normally $250.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that sale because they had the Gamera for sale too.
Yes. Yep. So I grabbed it. Can't go wrong, dude. Except for the fact that I have one sitting right over here under my work bed. So that I bought. He had the Wonderfest price. So I've gotten both of them for cheaper. I think at Wonderfest it was $150 or $175.
Okay.
But still, I have two 22-inch King Kong. What the fuck? What am I going to do?
Well, I'm glad I'm not alone. But what I could say to you is, if you watched our last episode that came out yesterday, Joe Heil with his kit bashing, he buys multiples of everything, so he just has parts. So if you ever want to make a 4-armed King Kong, you're set to go.
I'd have to buy another one because
you would have to buy another one. Oh, that's man!
Because when the box came, Missy was like, "Brian, this box looks familiar." She even recognized it before I did. I was like, "Yeah, I think I screwed this one up," but luckily she didn't leave me. So we're still
the hobby dementia. I think that's my new term. And if anyone else has a good hobby dementia story, share it with us. Your most expensive double buy, because I've done it with books before. Sometimes alcohol's involved, and late at night, and Amazon, where I'm like, "Oh yeah, I need one of those." And then that DVD show. I've done it with DVDs. I've done it with books. And I'm like, son of a bitch, I already got this. So then one stays in the package and goes away. And then maybe we'll be sold one day. But
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe my model club has twice a year we have a swap and bool show we do where, and I was looking, like Missy even brought up, she's like, "Are you first time ever?" She said anything. She goes, "I was down here working on Kong actually." She goes, "Are you ever gonna build all this stuff?" I was like, "Well, look, the goal, of course, is yes. That's the goal. I want to build it, but probably not, And so I started looking at some of the things I have, and I think I might. I've never sold anything before, but like, the Hoth battle scene.
Yeah.
I don't know, where am I? It's over here somewhere.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. Those kinds they take up a ton of room. And they're not great, but maybe a Star Wars collector would want them. I don't know.
And this is something we could get into a little bit before we move on. And I think we're both about the same age. I'm 49. You're 51.
51.
Yep. 51. Oh, we're starting to see that there's not much forward. There's more behind us than in front of us at this point, probably.
I was talking to a former student, about this, and I said, "Oh, my knees are going blah blah," just doing the old man thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're not that old." I said, "I have more time behind than in front," and that's kind of. And when you think of it, it's a little scary. It is, but at the same time, you got to make the most of that time. But you saw my basement.
Yeah.
You know how many kits I have down. There's a ton of stuff here, built and unbuilt, and there's no way.
So there's that of I'm not going to have time to build it all, what I have. And the other thought that's starting to creep into my head is, do I want to spend that time I have left sitting around building models? Like that's starting to creep in a little bit too, of like, do I really want and that's the point of this show is building models and stuff. And I'm just like, man, I think I need to really prioritize going forward. The other thing, I started cataloging my vinyl collection on Discogs, and I have only put in, I think, 60 records so far, and there's a lot more than that. And it's already about Discogs is great because it gives you, based on what's sold, like it gives you a range of how much your collection is worth. And just with 60 some records in so far, I'm like, holy crap, I've spent that much money on 60 records. Like,
Yeah.
what am I doing? So it's, and we're on the younger end of this hobby. So I'm sure like other people have had this happen to them. So tell people in the comment below, talk about that too if you want. I hate to shoot myself in the foot on the show, but it's,
no, I agree.
you know, prioritize the cool kits and do some once in a while. But man,
see, for me though, the building is what allows me to not go on a homicidal rage a lot of times after school, and people don't understand what I'm talking. Like, unless you're a teacher,
I understand 100%.
You have to get away from people for a period of time after school. You have to. And Missy and I have a rule: 5 minutes about school. When we get home, how was your day? Good. This is what happened. This is what happened. Bro. And then she does her thing. I do my thing. And we just, so there's something about that too.
And that's the best thing. I'm not going to toot my horn. I'm a decent painter. I love building models more than I think I like painting models. And because it's just that relaxing sanding and clipping. And that's why I'm trying to go through all of the Warhammer stuff that I have and just build it to get the boxes out of the way, to clear up some space, but then to sit there and clip and glue and clip and glue to just kind of clear my head. It works really well. So I get it. I totally get it.
Well, I think I talked about him before. He's the guy online. He builds. His name, it's HPI Guys Workshop. And same thing. I will put him on sometimes when I'm working, like grading papers or something, because the process of looking up and seeing someone spray paint something and it gets covered, and the gluing stuff together, and then it's relaxing. Like, it really, I get, there's a, I don't know what it is about it. I don't know why it works, but it does. So
cool. Before we get into our movies, I have an idea for a new segment.
All right.
And this could go completely sideways and everyone hate us going forward. But it was triggered by our text messages this week.
Okay.
I think we need a paranormal segment, a paranormal minute. We're both super interested in it. There's a lot going on in the world of paranormal. I don't even know if you can qualify some of this as paranormal, but UFO, UAP, ghost stories on the side. But right now there is a ton going, and I am freaked the fuck out right now.
I know you are.
Like, I am freaked out because of some of the stuff that's happening. So I was thinking maybe when we do this once a month, just catch up on a couple little things and see like what you've seen, what you've heard. And did you get a chance to watch any of the stuff I sent you? The Russ Coulthart interview?
No, because I started it, but it's like 20 minutes long. I just didn't have a chance to sit down and watch it. What my plan is tomorrow on the bike, when I get on the bike at school, to watch it, because that's when I...
Okay. So watch that. So people, and I'll put a link to some of this stuff in the description. There is so much coming at us in terms of UAP, UFO news right now. And if you're not a believer in any of this, I'm going to tell you right now, you need to start being a believer in something, because it has now been, we got to come up with a name for this segment. We'll do it every episode. Okay. It has now been testified in front of Congress that it's
over the summer.
People were like, well, maybe he's lying. They just had a briefing on Friday, congressmen and of that basically when they left there and said in a skiff, which is top secret, you can't bring your phones in, you can't. So they were told behind closed doors that basically David Grush is 100% telling the truth on everything. And that came out on Friday. That was Friday. A bunch of other stuff happened this week where so this falls into model and movie a little bit. On Tubi, there is a 3-part documentary that came out, TMZ produced, with Jeremy Corbell on some new UFO stuff. Like it kind of, for people like me, you and I, a lot of it's old news, but the thing that came out of that this week was the jellyfish UAP video and the chandelier UFO video. And I'm going to throw those pictures up here because I forgot to put them in my slideshow to stick it, and I am freaked out for a couple reasons. And the first reason I'm freaked out, I have a friend, and has to remain nameless. one of my bestest friends in the world
Bob
is big in the AI scene, like AI, like his career. He's heavily involved where he gets to talk to scientists, gets to talk to AI people. He worked on a lot of AI, like he's in there. And so a guy on his team worked at CERN, which is the particle collider.
Mm-hmm.
So he's told me some things. I'm not going to, there's some real like,
well,
so
we'll
I messed,
talk off camera,
we, one of the things we were talking about in one of the interview that I want you to watch, there's a common theme that keeps coming up, and it's non-human, biological material, craft. We're going to be surprised at what it actually turns out to be. It's not what we think it is what people keep saying. And then my brain went, and so this fits into there too. So I've followed this thing where sometimes I want people to lie to me to make me feel better. And so when I was living in a haunted house in college, all right, the landlord came by to show the apartment to somebody, to the house that was going to be our new roommate. And I'm like, in the hall, we were having, like, I was hearing stuff all the time. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to ask the landlord if this place is haunted in front of a potential renter so that he's going to say no, because he wants to rent the place to this guy. So I went, hey, dude, this place haunted? He goes, oh, yeah. In front of the new people. And I'm like, son of a bitch. So it kind of the same thing happened. I'm like, I sent a message to my friend and I'm like, dude, could this be an AI that went aware and learned how to manufacture its own drones that is flying around, scouting everything out, flying around? And he didn't send back no. He sent back, I can elaborate later on. And I went, so then he said the other day, and this came out of something else that happened on Friday, think of alternate dimensions.
Yeah, we talked about that first met. Yeah,
and
that's
so
my.
That's kind of, and this goes back to CERN, and it goes back to some of this other stuff. There is a lot going on, and I think people need to start paying a little more attention to it and not brushing it off.
Yeah,
like the chandelier video. I haven't seen the video yet. I've seen the still pictures.
Me too.
It's straight up chaos arrows from Warhammer, like the circle of arrows going in every direction. So what if Warhammer's real? And the warp in Warhammer is another dimension where all the chaos demons live. Everyone's been claiming that some of these things are angelic and demonic and all that. Like, it is so crazy right now, all the theories being thrown around. But I want to put this out there. Well, I sprung it on you. I wanted to kind of just get your initial reaction. So going forward, I want to do a paranormal UAP UFO, just like 5 minute of stuff that happened that month. And we'll kind of throw it into this segment.
On the political, I mean, you follow, I don't follow the politics, but you're definitely following the political.
Yes.
And so you're aware of when they're meeting and that. But I did watch the Senate hearings this summer, and it was, I want to say that nothing was said that was like, oh my God, but it was stuff that reinforced my beliefs already and things. And so
there was a couple things that not shocking that it was more shocking that he was saying it to Congress, like he said people have been hurt and killed to hide this information, said that under oath, said we have non-human biological material, and yes, on Friday was basically confirmed that this is all true and that they're hiding. And the reason it's actually, I can say this, we are on opposite ends of the political spectrum. But the cool thing that's kind of happening now is there is quite a bit of bipartisan agreement going on with some of the stuff that's going on. And I think the Congress is pissed because a lot of this has been hidden from them and been outsourced to private companies. And
intentionally.
Yeah. Yes. And there's a lot coming. And I think people need to really wake up a little bit. And I know there's going to be people like, you're crazy. Shut up. But
that's okay.
there's a lot coming, and I think everyone is doing themselves a disservice by not really kind of looking. So Tubi, that documentary on Tubi, I think is great for normies, like for people who are not caught up at all, because it kind of goes into the history of. It's 3 episodes. I'm on the 3rd one. It goes into like where George Knapp came from, how they like, and Jeremy Corbell and how they met, and some of the like just the history of what's happened since 2017 when the New York Times thing came out. So
even that stuff is, if you're into it, which I am, I still watch the things that I know. Did you watch the Bob Lazar documentary on Netflix?
Yes.
How, and of course people have come at me a little. I'm like that's, and maybe I am naive. I don't know. I try not to be. I don't think I am. I'm a pretty intelligent person. But in the middle of them making the documentary, his house being raided again, like he hasn't been around for years. He hasn't had nothing to do for decades, not years, decades. And they're still coming and going through his house and going through his stuff. And maybe it was a setup for the documentary. I don't think so. But there's still things going on around him and the things that he said and things that are out there that are just it's okay not to believe, but don't be surprised when it's true.
Right. When it all is true. And that's like, and I'm a big, I grew up, I was already grown up. I was in like, listen, and that's kind of my inspiration for this in a weird way is Art Bell. Listening to talk radio has been, I've listened to talk radio my entire life, starting out listening to like comedy talk radio in Chicago. And that's what, just having the radio on, that's how I found Art Bell. And they started talking, coast to coast AM and ghosts and all that sort of thing. And some of that stuff from back then is still getting pulled into this. Anyway, so going forward, people be ready to fast forward through the UAP UFO paranormal minute. I've seen like there's some really and the alien stuff in Miami that's still like the Miami UFO stuff, 10-foot aliens going on. There's been so much this week.
That is crazy. In fact, that's what started this. Was I sent that to you, and you're like, "Yeah, there was a shooting." Blah blah. I was like, "Then what's this in the video?" And it's so.
And a lot of that, like I've watched a guy show like debunking, like, but then there's other stuff that makes you think, well, maybe it's true, maybe it's. There's a lot. So anyway, going forward, we're going to be doing that more.
Sounds good.
All right, movies. Did you see anything besides No Hard Feelings?
I did, but we don't need to talk about it because we've been going for a while already. And the one thing I will say is I saw the ultimate Christmas movie in the theaters. I went and saw Die Hard with my daughter. I was telling you, we have these accrued days. If you have so many sick days because you don't take days off, you get these free days off during the school year. And I used to take them when she was on spring break, and we would go to do different things. And she was on Christmas break, and we went and saw Die Hard together, and we had a great dad.
That's awesome.
Day. And she had never seen it before, which I was surprised, but because I have like all of them on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, like I'm that guy with the Die Hards, but Die Hard in the theater. And and I finished the Flash series. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
It gets a little bit super preachy in the last couple seasons, and I just wanted it to end, and it did. So.
Okay. Great. We talked about, Scott brought it up. I finally watched It's a Wonderful Life for the first time. So I kind of want you to watch it so you could agree with me.
I don't want to watch it.
It's not a Christmas movie. It's not. It's as much a Christmas movie as Die Hard is. And like most of that movie, it is a very long movie. It's over 2 hours. And most of it does not take place on Christmas. And there's nothing to do with a Christmas message. There's nothing like, it just happens to be on Christmas, which is fine. Just like Die Hard happens to be in Christmas. So for those of you who claim that that's the greatest, no, it's not the greatest Christmas movie. It's as much of a Christmas movie as some of those other ones. And we'll leave it at that.
I like Jimmy Stewart. I just don't, for whatever reason, I've never watched it. I've seen clips of it. I know what it's about. I don't want.
It's hard. I mean, there's some really, like, it's a good movie. Like, as far as movies go, it's a good movie. Like, I really liked it. I don't think it's the end all be all Christmas movie because that's not the message. Like, it's not anything like that. But I did want to watch one movie we got to talk about, and I don't know if you've seen it, and I'm going to throw some pictures up here. Love and Monsters. Have you seen that?
It's on my Netflix list. I haven't watched it yet, though.
Okay.
It's on.
So I'll give you the premise. No spoilers. There's a asteroid headed towards Earth. We shoot missiles at it. The fragments rain down, mutating every animal on Earth except for, I think, mammals, and turns them into monsters. And basically, they start eating everybody. And it ends the world, basically. Our hero, I kind of took some notes here. Our hero is Dylan O'Brien, who plays Joel. And this guy, he's been in Bumblebee and a bunch of other, like Maze Runner and a bunch of other stuff. I freaking loved this movie. Like, loved it. It was one of the better movies I've seen in a very, very, very long time. I thought it had tons of heart. So he basically goes on an adventure, an 80-mile journey, because people have been forced to live underground. He decides to go find his girl that was, they ended up in different camps, basically, when the world ended. And so he goes to go find her. So he's a weakling nerd that's done nothing, basically, since they've been underground. If you love dogs, there's an amazing dog in this movie. And it reminds me, and I'm almost going to say it's the same dog, and I'm probably wrong, from the Predator movie that was out, from Prey. Like, amazing dog movie. So if you're into dogs, the dog in this movie is fantastic. The creatures in the movie, I think, are fantastic as well. And the story is, you've heard the story before, but I think it's done really, really well. Michael Rooker is in it for a second. Michael Rooker hit on an ex-girlfriend of mine at a convention once. He's a son of a bitch, but he's got balls. Yeah. Like, that dude, he was all over her. And I was like, okay, all right, enough. And then Ariana Greenblatt, or Ariana, who was in 65. She was the little girl in 65 that we just watched. She's in it too. And there's a really great nod to Stand By Me. And it has that kind of road movie feeling that Stand By Me is. And I can't recommend Love and Monsters more. I really, 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 really. And the creatures are cool.
Up on my list.
And I highly suggest watching it. It's well worth the time. So
excellent.
All right. No hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
Introduce No hard feelings. I'll throw some pictures up. What'd you think?
This is a Jennifer Lawrence. They called it, if you watched it on Netflix, a Raunch Com, which I've never heard before. That's what popped up instead of rom-com. It said Raunch Com.
Okay, stop right there. So that would be, if I hear that, I'm thinking American Pie, Superbad,
Animal House.
Yeah, okay.
That kind of stuff, yeah. Wedding Crashers.
Yes, okay.
And all three of those movies, or all those movies that we just mentioned.
Hangover. That sort of thing. Yeah. Wait, what did you say? I stepped over.
All those movies we just named are better than this. Now, again, I this was my pick, and I wanted to see it, and I'm not mad I watched it, but it was the trailer for this when it came out. I remember seeing it. I was like, this is gonna be funny. This is right up my alley. I can't wait. One of my favorite scenes in movies. Missy and I went and saw There's Something About Mary in the theaters, and the scene where the guy. Have you seen it? I'm sure you have, right?
Oh yeah.
Where the guy drops his keys and he's on the crutches and he's trying to pick it up. I laughed so hard. Nobody in the theater was laughing. I was laughing so loud. She was telling me to shut up. She's like, "You've got to stop." It was echoing in the theater. I was laughing so hard, and it was packed. It was packed, dude. So that's that's where my humor is. So I was like, this is gonna be fantastic, and it was okay. So you got Maddie, Jennifer Lawrence's character, taking on. She's broke. Her house. She lives in a house that her mom left her when her mom. They don't say what, but probably cancer. I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Left to her, and so she is working as an Uber. She's working as a bartender just to kind of make ends meet, pay off the taxes so she can keep the house. Also, I believe we saw that in Happy Gilmore. So anyhow, but this is, she's just a wild egg out there doing whatever she wants to whoever she wants, whenever she wants.
Ghosting guys, which is the tow truck
Yeah,
driver.
having
Yeah.
sex, just kicking them to the curb once she was done with them, using and abusing. And so she has a little bit of that reputation. Mad because she lives in, I kind of like got like the Martha's Vineyard kind of feel.
Montauk. So like I don't even know where people on the East Coast tell us where Montauk is. The only thing I
Yeah.
can remember is the Montauk Monster, which was that washed up dead raccoon that I think that everyone thought was like a beast or something. So it's like your typical summer home area, but she's a townie.
Yeah.
With her
And
friends.
she don't like them. There gentrification is occurring,
Yeah.
land is going up, taxes are going up, everything's going up because of these people coming in. And they're rude, they're, all that stuff. So you have the basic setup there. To make more money, she goes on Craigslist. She finds a father and mother.
Because she needs a car. She had her car repossessed.
Thank you, thank you. And she needs a car so she can do her Uber driving because her car was taken away. Which, when her car got taken away, the guy in the background was funny. By the way,
I know. That was pretty funny.
She's trying to like convince the truck driver who she had a little fling with that she did like if she was just too nervous to stay with him and that kind of thing. And he looks over her shoulder and there's a guy from last night in like a thong stretching and
coming
stuff.
out.
And it's pretty funny. So she takes on this job of they wanted someone 21 to 25 to win over and take their son's virginity and bring him out of the
quote unquote date him hard.
Yes, date him hard. That is right, date him hard.
Yeah.
To get him out of his shell, and so when he goes to college, he doesn't get eaten alive and has a good time and all that. And about 10-15 minutes into this movie, I knew exactly what was going to happen. I knew how it was going to happen, and I was pretty much right. So there's not. It's a very
You've seen this movie a million times before.
Yeah.
I think everyone has, and I think it's done well. I don't think it's a good one of those movies. Of the like, oh, we were gonna date, then it falls apart, then we get together, and then we're friends, and everybody's happy at the end, kind of thing. One of those movies. So the parents, I want to highlight one thing here. When she goes to get the car, so in the Craigslist ad, these parents are like, we will give you a car if you date our kid. Just happens she needs a car. So she gets there, and it is Matthew Broderick and a lady that's a bunch of TV show stuff. But Matthew Broderick right away.
It was funny. He's funny. He's looking like us, isn't he?
Yes, I was gonna say. So you have Ferris Bueller looking like a fat old man with long gray hair, which I know is a wig. But
you think?
Man, oh yeah, has to be. Because if he really has his hair cut like that, dude, what are you doing? Come on. You can't. He's got to. Yeah. But he has a grease bag. Yeah. All right, maybe.
I could grease a bag. Yeah.
So,
come on.
But it's not the only, like the end of the movie had a whole Ferris Bueller with the car thing at the end where a car gets destroyed. In a much funnier way. Like, I thought that was one of the funnier parts of the movie. I'll get there when we get there. But let me go through some of these pictures real quick. So the kid, the main actor, the boy that she's dating hard is Andrew Barth Feldman. His name is Percy in the movie. And then, like you said, she plays Matt. I think one of the highlight actors of the movie was her best friend's husband, who was, I thought, pretty funny.
He was on a TV show called The Mick with what's her name from There's Something About, or from It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
There was a show on Fox for 2 years. It was called The Mick.
And so I saw that, and I had never seen that. He was also in Breaking Bad, the El Camino story, and he was in Halloween Kills, and like a bunch of other just random. But I thought he was pretty funny in this movie.
Yeah, he was
for his parts.
Yeah,
I thought the young kid that played Percy did a really good job. That's the thing about this movie. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. It's just you've kind of seen it all before.
Yeah,
and it's when they called it a Raunch Com, I was fully it was not raunch. Like there was a couple parts, and we can kind of hit those parts now. Probably So the kid works at a rescue, and so she goes in to see like him at the rescue and pick up the dog, and looking smoking hot, which
She is. Good grief.
so
Holy.
which brings us to like, let me just pull this up so
So,
people can
you know,
kind of
she does the whole, hey, can I touch your wiener? Because he has a wiener dog.
right. That's where I stopped, and I'm like, all right, Jamie, you got to watch this movie.
It was kind of that was a good line.
It was a good line. There was some good little funny parts.
Yeah.
It just felt like I said, you've seen it before. This was my favorite part of the movie when he maced her in the van. Because he thought he was being kidnapped because she had to borrow a van from that other guy. And so he thought he was being kidnapped. And so he maced her and then maced her again in the yard, which I thought was hilarious. Like
it was funny.
That was my favorite funny part. The part that everybody kind of talks about, you can handle. When I get to
the nude beach or the beach scene at the end of their first date. Now this kid is really reserved, really, like in his shell, whatever. And so first of all, he misses out on all these innuendos she's throwing at him. She's just trying to bang him and get it over with.
Oblivious.
So
Yep.
Get the car. Hey, I slept with your son. I want the car. Move on. And of course, they end up falling in friend or whatever. So, but they go out. She like, come on, let's go swimming. He goes, we can't. The beach is closed. It's closed from 8 to 6 a.m. Whatever. And she's like, oh, you're a little rule follower. Come on, there'll be no one to bother us. And she strips off her clothes and runs in to the ocean. He follows suit, and some kids come up and steal their clothes while they're in the water. And she comes out of the water like a Navy SEAL.
She did. A naked Navy SEAL is what we could.
It was funny. It was good. It was I don't know why, but crotch punches on girls make me laugh.
Yes.
They did that in Always Sunny. Remember that when he picked her up? He goes, that's the highest and longest I've ever held. That's that was the sexual harassment episode, I think. But
and the naked suplex was my favorite. So she just beats these three people's ass, suplexes somebody. Like, it was great. It was funny.
Yeah. And honestly, I understand why everybody got all, but the nudity for her, the fact that she was naked and just didn't care is what I caught. It's just because she's naked around so many people, just doesn't care. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just goes back in the water, and he's like, what happened? I heard him screaming. She goes, oh, I just got our clothes back. Nothing big. Like, she's good. And he's like, I think I'm afraid of you.
Yes. That was so I think she is a much better comedic actress than a dramatic one. Like, I liked her. She's funny because every time I see her, like on Between Two Ferns or like arguing, like funny stuff that she does, like her talking to what's his name from Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a good, if you can find it on YouTube, where they're just insulting each other back and forth. It's hilarious. She's super funny. She seems like a normal, down to earth person, like not stuck on her looks or stuck up. Seems like a pretty normal person.
She's very, very beautiful. She's beautiful.
Yes. Yep.
All right. So they go on from there, and he's like, I don't think I can, I have to know someone to have sex with them. I'm like, all that. And they go on to this just montage of dates, and you see it happening what I thought was going to happen 10 to 15 minutes in the movie. They were going to like each other, spend time together, get to know each other, and all that. And there's a scene with them walking dogs together. There's scenes with them playing laser tag together, and she cheats, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
So she cheats with a little kid. She covers the sensor so she can win. It's just the typical rom-com type.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's just cool. So what grade would you give it?
I think it's a solid B. Yeah, I do.
I'm going to agree completely with you. I think it's a B movie, perfectly serviceable.
Yeah.
Like I laughed at times. I thought it was a little more sweeter than I thought it. Cause when I thought like you did, I thought it was going to be something about Mary or American Pie, super raunchy, and it wasn't. It was a lot more sweeter than that, with some raunch parts, but for me, it didn't seem very raunchy. Cause I've seen everything at this point in my life.
What do you mean, Ethan?
I don't know. Yeah. I also like because she's 31 in the movie, pretend like she had to lie, tell them that they wanted someone younger. So this kid who's like 18 dating a 30 something year old. When I was 18, 19, I was dating a 26-year-old. So yeah.
This was just they just called you up and asked for your life, right?
I know.
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
That wasn't that nerdy though. That was more gothy. But yeah, both of us are B's.
Yeah.
Worth a watch. Something to watch with the wife, and then you get to see some suplexing nudity.
Dude,
like, yeah.
And honestly, she is. I don't know if she could be ugly if she tried. To be honest, she couldn't. Put a mole on her, put a bigger nose on her, or whatever. Right. She's an attractive lady, and you know, I know that she went through a lot of stuff with what was it they called, the leaks, the picture leaks. They had a name. I can't remember the name of it now.
And I think there was a lot of the Me Too stuff going on at that time too, with what's his name, Harvey Weinstein.
She's gone through a lot of stuff in her personal life and everything.
Yeah.
I'm just glad she is.
Yeah, I like this kind of role for her. Like, it's great, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd laugh. Now again, the end, of course, the boy finds out that the mom and dad set him up, and then she finds out, wait, I really liked him, not in maybe a love way, but I really like being with this kid. He's older and inside than he is, and they end up being. He gives her advice, she gives him advice. They become friends, and she drives him off to college. And
yeah,
it was, again, your typical ending.
The ending, though. I'm going to put these pictures up real quick, where he's driving the car into the ocean, basically.
When she's on the hood,
and she's on the hood on fire because they hit a barbecue grill. And they crash into the water. I just thought that part was pretty funny. But
that was good. Dude,
there was pretty good. There were some funny parts. There were
there's some laugh out loud sections of this movie, but it wasn't the stuff that it wasn't as constant as I thought the way they promoted it that it would be. But
okay, I guess it is my turn to pick. We know how my picks go.
Oh wait, before you do,
yeah,
I left it upstairs, but on the cover of my mom and dad get me Consumer Reports every year for Christmas.
What are you, 95 years old? What is?
I told them to stop. They keep getting it, but you know what it is?
Here, Brian, you need the new Consumer Reports.
Here's the thing. Here's the funny thing. I don't really read it, and I told them to stop doing it, but I think the reason they do it is, how when you renew a magazine, you can do the renewal and get one free. Yeah. I think that getting the free one, they're like, yeah, well, that's just anyhow. On the cover is...
Oh, Brian, I'm so dumb. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong button. Guys, if you noticed, this is where we're supposed to be. Sorry. It's going to say Model Club TV at the top. It's modeling a movie.
The cover of... And I almost jumped out my window and just went and played in traffic, waiting to end a Consumer Reports cover, and I put it aside because I wanted to show it to you and I forgot. How to Stop Eating So Much Plastic. I can't get away from this, dude. This is for the rest of my life. I'm going to be Crimes of the Future. Crimes everywhere I go. Crimes of the freaking future.
Oh my God. How weird. How weird. How weird. All right. So we both gave it a B. I'm torn between two movies.
All right.
So it's going to kind of come down to if you've seen either one, and then we'll decide. Have you seen Dungeons and Dragons?
Yes.
Okay. Have you seen The Creator?
No.
All right. We will watch The Creator. It's on Hulu. Sci-fi Gareth Edwards movie. So the guy that did the first American Godzilla movie and did the movie Monsters, has a movie out called The Creator, sci-fi movie. So that's what we're watching next, everybody. What?
Kids with the holes in the ears? Or
yes,
whatever?
That one. Yep. Don't know what it's about at all. Haven't read anything.
I just
saw the picture.
I just remember the trailer.
Yep.
Seeing the trailer for the holes.
So look pretty cool. So we're gonna do The Creator, and then I'll watch Dungeons and Dragons on my own, and maybe we could talk about that.
It's good. It's on It's on Amazon right now.
I think it's on Amazon right now. Did you like it?
Yeah, I've watched it like 2-3 times.
Oh, okay,
seriously.
Cool. All right.
It's good. And you're into Dungeons and Dragons stuff, and you'll like it. And there's It was well, actually, with the first time I saw it, I told you about the little cameo in the
Yeah, I heard there
background.
was that camera. Yeah, from you and yeah. Cool.
Yeah, so that you'll dig that. But that's just so you know, it's towards the end. But
Okay.
whatever.
Excellent. All right, Brian. Thank you, sir. And thank everybody for watching A Model in a Movie. We'll be here next month. These are going to kind of come out randomly based on schedules. So it's not always going to be the same time every month. So, all right, man. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, Jake,
Take care.
later, bud.
All right, bye.